So first of all, my name is Mari. I am the owner, founder, runner of all things BERRIESEED. And the whole course of this is to talk about remembering who you are. Let's start with what I mean by that. So boom, so at 12, you were about to head into being a teenager. You felt like, oh, I'm a teen. I don't know why teen felt so cute back then, but it is what it is. So 12 was right before you're knocking on the door becoming 13. So you were a teenager. Then when, at least in my hometown, in my state, 15, I could start driving for real. Like I could get a permit. 16, I could drive by myself. Pretty sure that was 16. I think it was 16 with a curfew. I don't know. It don't matter. 16, you could drive by yourself, essentially. 18, you were an adult. Technically on paper, could nobody telling you what to do. Thinking you knew the world and you were stepping into the big leagues. You're still a baby. I was still a baby at 18, like in some degree. Parentified and very mature in other areas, but in many areas I had so much to learn over the years. I just did not know. Now I know. So boom, where we at? 18. 21, you can drink, if that's your thing. 25, you can rent a car without any extra fees, right? 30, it's just just that milestone number, right? I haven't hit the next group. The next group is 40. So I'm in between, right? So if I view my life now, right? So I'm mid-30s. If I view my life back when I was growing up, because of the environment I grew up in, the surroundings I had, the areas of lack, whether that be from an emotional standpoint or a guidance standpoint or just all the things that were going wrong up until that point, I was looking at life then as I can't wait to get to that next level. And versus now, I kind of feel like I look back and I think of all the lessons that I learned along the way that at the moment I may have not been seeing fully. But there was a certain period, and I think I'll make that in the next video, of how I didn't recognize it at the time, but there were things that were happening in my life then that were causing who I really was and like my essence to diminish. Say you're like the little wimpy soldier, like just for, that's my AC just cut on. Say for like just the metaphor, like the story. So you're like the wimpy soldier. If you watch Solo Leveling, or it's a similar example, you come in the game and you lack, right? Whatever the lack is, it could be physically, it could be financially, emotionally, your environment, a lack of parents, a lack of love, a lack of care, a lack of self, whatever it is. But in this instance, we're just going to say it's a lack. You're lacking something. So you're the little wimpy kid that comes up on the scene and everyone knows you, right? Your environment knows you, and you have a lack of some sort that's different from them, right? Their lack is not apparent. It's very much present, but it's not apparent. And everyone focuses on your lack. You're seen as less than. You're seen as not strong enough, not pretty enough, not kind enough, not gangsta enough, not bad enough, not smart enough. Whatever the enough is, you are not blank enough, right? And at your essence, the core of who you are, it kind of gets lost in the mix because you start to hear and listen to what they're saying about you, about what you lack, about what you don't have, who you're not, what you'll never be. You know what I mean? Like it's a record, a never-ending record of what you're not and what you're not capable of and what you're not worth and whatever the case. So if you understand the reference to the show, when he came up on the game, he very much was that person. And I'm not gonna, just in case you do watch the show and you're not caught up, I'm not gonna give it anything away. But if you I'll keep it very vague. So I don't do spoilers. I can't stand a spoiler. I can't, except for on a car. On a sports car, that's the only spoilers I like. All right, so boom, you're on the scene. Whatever stage of life this is in for you, it is a severe case of lack of some capacity. Whatever that is. Doesn't matter if you're rich, poor, whatever the lack was for you, whether it be community, support, family, love, education, knowledge, guidance, acceptance, whatever the lack is for you, because we lack in different areas. Sometimes we relate, sometimes we don't. But this is really for the one who was kind of in some ways felt different, or the black sheep, or whatever that case is. All right, so boom, you come up on the scene and you're the wimpy, we'll just call you the wimpy soldier. Wimpy soldier, you are out there vulnerable, you don't have anything to protect you against things that are coming to attack you, things that are coming to put you down, things that are coming like tear down your character. Sometimes people can see things in you you can't see in yourself because all you know is what you've been hearing in it, and you don't have enough of a sense of self at that time to block it out and lock into who you are, right? So you're real wobbly. Even if you put on the front and you learn to kind of dance around whatever the limitations they place upon you, there's still something that is preventing you from ascending to your top potential. All right, TLDR. We're This is a metaphor. You're the character. When you came into the game, you had a severe case of lack of some sort. Whatever the lack was appropriate for you. You don't have the strength. You don't have the agility. You can't you can't duck and dodge arrows coming at you, fists, swords, whatever. You get beat up anytime you step on the field, whatever capacity that is, whether physically, mentally, or emotionally. You be getting beat up because you just can't handle it, right? Even if you appear to be taking it and it doesn't affect you, it can really be like taking a number on who you are. Okay, so that soldier, right, takes on the role of everything, all the projections from other people that are thrown, and it's like you start to lose sense of who you are. And who you are is that person who naturally is talented. You naturally have dreams, goals, ideas, and maybe people around you kind of don't get it, or they don't relate, or whatever the case. So because they don't have that capacity, they try to take the capacity from you because there must be something wrong with you because they don't have it. Right? This is specifically for people who think they're above you or superior to you, like they feel like they look better than you, so they should be happier than you. They feel like they're prettier than you, so they should be in love and you should be miserable, right? Especially if you have something in real life that they don't have and they feel like they should have it and you shouldn't. They feel like you didn't struggle enough, whatever struggle looks like to them. Whatever their projections are, it's almost as if it's your fault to a certain degree that they feel the way they feel. But they present themselves as if, they got it going on. They're so this, they're so that. It's a lie. Half the time it's a fallacy. They don't even believe it at the core of themselves. But because you kind of represent the truth of the matter, that there's something in you that they don't have, they can't handle it. It's like their brains can't compute. Sometimes you are surrounded by people who are mature enough who they don't project that onto you, right? But 9 times out of 10, someone who's been in the position that I'm talking about, it was the complete opposite. It's almost like it becomes like, is this real life for you? Because it's like you not that you're the cause of their problems, but you're the cause of them not being able to live in a fake made up world that they're making up in their ego, they're making up in their minds that their life should be like, or like they overestimate what they have gone through in their life and they underestimate what you're going through in your life. It's almost as if like you didn't suffer, or I wasn't suffering, or I didn't have to work for what I have, or whatever the case is. My point in all of this is, in the noise, when you are growing up or you grow up in a position, or like a lot of your mentally formidable years are surrounded by people putting you down, projecting on you, and it's like all you hear is what you're not, what you're not, what you're not, or what you're not, or what you are is like very degrading, right? At home, you don't feel like you can be yourself. Out in the world, you definitely can't be yourself. Out around the rest of your family, you can't be yourself. It's almost like sometimes you lose the essence of who you are, like truly, like really on the inside. And you come in the game wimpy, right? But you have to start, every time you wake up and you go back for battle each day, you put on another layer of armor or protection, something to deflect the nonsense. Like whatever the case is, you're putting on all these layers and layers and layers and layers and layers of protection. Sometimes you have to put on layers of protection, like your armor is so thick that you almost forget about the person that's inside the armor. Like really, the armor, if it could think and walk for itself, it could go out into the world, and the little wimpy person will sit in the closet and chill, like where they could feel safe by themselves. And you bury that person in the closet for a long time because you don't have to function with it to survive in this world, because all you need is your armor, right? And it's one tiring, it's exhausting, and you get lost in the fact that your armor is not you. Like it's parts of you, and it's grown on you, it's grown within you, it's grown with you all these years. But the real you is the person that is like locked in the corner, or is like deep in the core of the armor, making it move, but you almost forget that it's even there. The whole purpose of this, my company, the whole purpose of what our products are about, our waist beads are about, products down the line that will eventually release, it's really about remembering who you are and operating within that true essence, because that is the strong person. The armor is not the strength. What I mean is, to survive in this world, armor is really all you need, right? On a surface level. Like if something attacks you, you deflect it with the armor. The real survival is protecting that core person, that core elements of the things that you like, the things that you love, the things that you take in and you see and you transmute it into something poetic. You transmute it into something that gives somebody else a sense of purpose, a sense of understanding, a sense of being seen or being felt or being heard. That's the gift. The gift is inside that wimpy person, right? It's inside that true person, because that wimpy person has a heart that the biggest and the baddest don't always have, because they had to navigate life and show up to life with seeing how it feels on the other side, right? So the person who has it all, who's born with it all, whatever, she's so lucky she's a star, right? But if they don't have that resilience that's built up from showing up even when you don't, you really, it's kind of like autopilot, where it's like, I show up every day, I'm not my best, right? Or I show up and I don't want to be here. Or sometimes you wake up and you're like, I don't really want to wake up. It's just a long-winded way to say that is what this is about, right? So yes, you may have grown up in your armor as a great career. Your armor is, I don't know, another person. Your armor is your attitude, like your demeanor. But who is the real you? What makes you smile? What makes your heart feel like poetry? What makes you wake up and like feel like, oh wait, like this is what life is all about. These moments that are few and far in between. What is that? What is your dream in the world? Like, what is the purpose for your life? When you see a sunset and you like think of songs, or you think of melodies, or like something that just makes your spirit feel alive, who is that? Who is that person that can take a pen and paper and write something that's so majestic and it speaks to the heart of people? Like that raw, beautiful, authentic, unfiltered, unbothered, unfazed self. That's really what the heart of this brand is about. So I don't want to make this too long, but in upcoming videos, we'll be talking about a little bit of my testimony, talking about waist beads themselves, because we do sell waist beads. Here's a quick glimpse of my waist beads. I guess I'll show a little bit. Hold on. These are 4 that we sell. See, this one is Nectar. This one is, I can't see, Bulletproof Soul. The gold one is Raw, and the clear is Picture Me Rolling. So, yeah. I would love if you would check it out on the website. Alright, so this is Picture Me Rolling. The purity of your intentions and not being afraid of being misunderstood by somebody who doesn't get your intentions. Not your problem. Next. The next one I have on is Raw. So it's about authenticity and self-love. Next up, we have Nectar. Similar to Raw, but different. So Nectar, if you think about it in the sense of like nature, nectar is already in certain plants, right? And then pollinators come to the plants, and then boom, they make like honey and things of that nature, right? The point is, it represents you just being you, your authentic self, unfiltered. You come as you are. If you're not a pollinator, you're not gonna like my nectar. It's okay. So essentially, it's about being you and trusting that you, as whatever you are, whoever you are, in your rawest state is good enough, is fine enough. Like, you do not have to try to attract people that are not called to be attracted to you. It's not even about their loss or whatever the case. It's just, there's just not alignment. They can't handle it. If they're not mature enough to recognize that y'all just are not meant to be or something and walk away peacefully, it's not your problem. Okay. So, Bulletproof Soul. These are for the gentle giants, the tenacious spirits, the resilient soul. But yes, being bulletproof doesn't matter what they throw at you. That's who you are. So I'm gonna just read off a couple topics that we have coming up for our videos. One, why don't you love yourself? Two, how to use your past for your future. Matter of fact, that's probably gonna be the next one. How to use your past for your future, and a little bit of my personal testimony. And I really would appreciate you tuning in. I really would appreciate you checking out the website, BERRIESEED.com, BERRIESEED.com. There's a little bit of information on there about the history of waist beads, which we'll get into in videos. But if you can't wait, want to go take a peek, I would really appreciate it. If you do take a peek, leave the berry emoji, the blueberry emoji. Like, that would make my day. And yeah, whatever. But like I said, it would truly make the world to me if you like, follow, or subscribe. See you soon.